So, hey, yes, how's it going, folks? Uh, we're back with Deathgate. Let me actually put a note and put phone on silent here. Alrighty, so hellos. Yeah, so we are back to Deathgate, where we left off. We're about to head to Pyran. Before that, last stream, as a little bit of a recap, we had landed outside of Skirvash, I believe. I think that's the town. The city with thieves and the Brotherhood Tower and everything like that. And we basically faked our way into being an assassin. Had to steal an amulet from a painting and got knocked out by a kid for a little bit, and then took out the second ranking Tower of Brotherhood guy by taking an amulet and teleporting to another plane. So, all that to get this book here, right here, so that we know where to go next. Brian. It is a hollow world. We are actually going to be on the inside of it, and never dark, so that's kind of weird. I'm sure they're used to it after 2,000 years or so of that. But yeah, so without further ado, I think we will go ahead and launch off. Let me make sure that game audio gets turned on. And here we go. You call on the power of the steering stone to take you through the Deathgate and into Pyran, the world of fire. Pyran or Pyran? Gosh. I hope I've been saying it incorrectly. And off into the Deathgate we go. By the way, the neighbors working on their roof for most of the day. The dogs have finally settled into different places, and I'm hoping they'll stay that way, but, you know, they might just go crazy again. Anyways, Pyran, there we go. Your ship arrives over a field of green, trees large enough to hold cities. One of them has a flat area just big enough to land the ship on. But something else has caught your eye, a glowing crystal city nestled in the carpet of vegetation. You decide to investigate and land the ship in a clearing nearby. Your ship sits on one of the only clear regions of Pyran. I'm gonna mess that up so many times. To the west, a structure of mammoth proportion towers over you. Aw, we just barely dodged this plant here. Well, let's take it with us. You know, the ship could tilt over and crash. We'll just put it in our pocket. Alright, so when it says west, it actually means west. Yeah, sorry. I know it looks straight ahead, but yeah, gotta go that way. You stand outside the huge Sergeant edifice. All surrounds you. There are no obvious doors, only the alcove to the south. And we have a sword, a staff. Sword, staff, hammer. Oh my gosh, it might be that kind of stupid, folks. Okay. So, obviously, we have none of those types of weapons right now, so let's just keep going here. A strange animal, seated on the ground in front of a bush, startles at your entrance and leaps onto a branch. A tree grows in the middle of a patch of nut-bearing bushes. On a branch, an animal perches, watching you. The animal most resembles a cross between a squirrel and a monkey. Under a coat of thin fur, sleek muscles move as it sways back and forth on its branch. You get the impression that it could prove quite formidable if provoked, despite that there's nothing threatening about its manner. In fact, it seems to alternating between wary curiosity and hunger. Its eyes travel back between you and the bushes of nuts. Alright then. Well, let's, well, the nuts pulls away from its stalk rather easily, leaving behind a hole in the shell where the stalk was attached. Well, let's, I mean, who am I to not give food to an animal that wants it? You toss the nut up to the animal perched on the branch. A lightning-quick claw snatches the nut from the air. The animal tucks it close to his furry body and inserts 2 pointy talons into the hole in the shell. With a crack, the nut breaks open. Even from here, you can smell the explosion of a rich, nutty aroma coming from the exposed nut meat. The animal carefully sniffs the interior of the nut, then, when it appears satisfied, eats the meat in a few quick bites. It discards the shell into a pile of like shells and settles back down on the branch to rest. You sift through the pile of shells and find the select one that's to your liking. So, yes, it all makes sense. We are an adventurer in an adventure game. We know this has a purpose. And we'll, the nuts are larger than any you've seen before, about the size of a human head. Groups of them grow from the bushes that surround the tree. Each nut is attached to the bush by a thick stalk. Can we take another one? Yeah. Can we give another one? Yeah. And it just happens like that, ad nauseum. So we'll just take a nut for later. Alright, so we'll move here. Can we move into the wall? Oops, sorry. Right. I keep messing up because, yeah. Alright, so map. We cannot go south because the door is blocking us. So we have to go, south. We stand at the edge of a thick forest, and a hollow tree stump sticks out of the ground. The stump only has one branch, and is rather oddly shaped. It sticks out from the front at a curious angle. It's a pretty permanent part of the stump. Okay, about the stump itself. It has been dead for a long time. Little holes in the wood show that it is hollow. One twisted branch sticks out at an odd angle from the front. Well, that's something. Alright, let's keep going. The forest is unnaturally still. There's no sounds of birds or animals. There is no wind. Oh. Well, hello there. Hidden among the trees, you catch only fleeting glimpses of giants. They look human, though with 3 major differences. They stand about 20 feet high, they lack hair, and they have no eyes. Well, of course, we can't abide by no eyeing humans. Armed only with the rusty shear, you rush at the gigantic, immense, huge, invincible titans. Credit, you actually get in a couple of sprites before you find out what it's like to be a smear on the ground. Yeah, that's a murder hobo haplo. That is not us, though. So, yeah, let's go ahead and keep on chugging through here. You start to wander deeper into the forest when something very large, something you thought was a tree, moves threatening towards you. You stumble backwards to where you started and the motion stops. Well, that's about it for here. Then, let's, I guess we're getting back on the ship and going to the other place because there's, nothing else we can do here. Tree City! Giant trees support your ship over unseen ground far, far below. This one, my favorite. This is a clear, flat area nestled amidst the branches of a giant tree. You see another tree over a narrow but deep drop. The branch from the far tree reaches over the expanse between the 2 trees. Well, there is a clothesline here. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Ah, well, never mind then. I guess we aren't thinking what we're thinking. Oh well. Another time. We'll Indiana Jones it another time. That's fine. Alright. So it looks like I always get confused on here. Okay, so we can't go forward. So there's the jump. There's only this door here. The chamber appears natural, as if the wood of the tree grew with this space in mind. You step into the middle of a busy kitchen, but on your arrival, all noise and movement suddenly cease. 3 pairs of eyes lock onto you. 2 elven women halt their conversation, and a child drops her broken doll and simply stares.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Nice tree you've got here. You design it yourself?
Of course not. This is the king's manor. Wizards in His Majesty's employ sculpted the house from the tree itself. You haven't answered my question. What are you doing here?
I'm Haplo. Who are you?
Why, I'm Cedra, head cook to the king. Greetings, Haplo. Now tell me, are you just some freeloader looking for a handout, or did you come in here looking for work? I've got no time to deal with the former, so I hope you plan on rolling up your sleeves.
So, one thing I also appreciate, more now so than earlier, when I first played this, is there's that stereotype that elves are all slender, all graceful, and stuff like that. I like that it has all body sizes. Alright, you know what? We haven't mingled with the men's races super much, and that's part of what we need to do is mingle and report back to Czar about what the people are like. So sure.
Sure, I'll give it a try. What do you need me to do?
I'm glad to hear it. I'm so behind just now that I would welcome anyone's help, even from a human refugee. The king has decided to throw a party with his usual 2-hour notice. Get over to the counter and start kneading that dough. Let's see if you can handle that task before we move you on to anything more complicated.
I got it. You edge over the counter, pick up the lump of dough, and half-heartedly begin to knead it. While you're doing this, the cook resumes her flurry of activity, continuing the conversation with the other woman as if there had been no interruption. She hurries about the room, tending to several tasks at once. At the same time, she not only manages to keep up her end of the running conversation, but the serving girl's side as well.
I'm worried about the children. I don't have a problem with them playing together, but the royal prince has begun to join in. There are human children in that group. You watch. Nothing good can come of that. No offense, you understand.
Human children? Oh, no. No, not the human children. Oh, God. Mingling with our elf children. No. Woe is me.
Anyway, I've saved the worst for last. There's a human adult out there. He's talking with the children, putting all sorts of ideas in their heads, ideas about all of the races living together, treating each other as equals. Can you believe it?
My favorite character, besides, us, I guess, in this game.
Rumor has it that he's a wizard. A child described some of his spells, and they're like nothing we've ever seen. In fact, the spells weren't even similar to any of those cast by the humans. Either this human is the most powerful to come along, or he's a member of a different race entirely. Wouldn't that be exciting?
Maybe the child was exaggerating. You know how imaginative they can be.
Of course, that's true. Those children can come up with some wild ideas. Still, it would have been exciting.
You notice that the small elf child on the floor has been watching with wide eyes and an unreadable expression. After a moment, she returns to playing with the battered, pathetic doll. She holds the doll above the floor and tries to make it walk around, but the fact that the doll is missing its head and a leg seems to make the experience less enjoyable than it should be. After a few moments, she drops the doll on the floor and sighs dejectedly. This dough is sticky and in serious need of eating. The cook pulls a tray of sweet cakes from the oven. The aroma makes your mouth water. A loud buzzing draws your attention to a small window. You see a nasty-looking insect about the size of your fist flying into the kitchen, also attracted by the sweet smell. The serving maid screams and puts herself as far from the bug as she can. Only the cook manages to remain calm. As the insect hovers over the cakes, she pulls out an ugly yellow flower from an apron pocket and crushes it in her hand. She unfolds her fingers and the room is suddenly filled with a horrible odor. The odor makes you feel somewhat queasy, but it seems to have a more substantial effect on the insect which darts back out the window.
It must be bug season again. Those terrible insects are such a bother. Every time I make something sweet, they show up, seemingly out of nowhere. On one occasion, I was actually stung by one of them. I was in bed for a week. These petals should do the trick of keeping them away today, but this is my last plant. I'm going to have to get the children to start harvesting the stinkweed again.
What was that bug?
Their hives appear during every harvest season. The insects that live in them usually leave us alone, unless they are angered or they smell something sweet. That drives them crazy. I always keep some stinkweed around, just in case.
Why does the flower drive off the insect?
As much as the bugs are drawn to the sweet smells of my cooking, they are repulsed by the smell of stinkweed. Actually, stinkweed isn't all that bad until you crush the petals, but then you'd best be as far away from it as you can get.
Please don't mix that into my food. Or the king's food, rather. The king, of course, not my food.
Where do you find that yellow plant?
I'm not sure. The plant grows wild in bunches, but it's difficult to find. I have all the children out searching for it, and since I reward their finds with sweets, the plant is in high demand. Whenever it's discovered in the wild, the children return with as much as they can carry. They practically drool over that patch growing on the nearest tree, but no one can get to it.
May I have one of those cakes?
Absolutely not. I'm preparing these cakes for the king's party.
You mean it's going to smell like that in here all day? I think I'm done with this dough, you see? All nice and needed.
Well, you've done a pretty poor job on the dough, but I don't think I'm going to get much better out of you. Leave then. I don't blame you for wanting to get away from the stinkweed.
You have anything else to say? Serving girls too engrossed in the cook's jar to pay attention to you. Anything else to the cook want to say?
I've no time for you and your foolishness. You're no kitchen worker, so you've no place here. Take it outside, please.
What if I knead the dough a little bit more? Tried pounding on the dough for a while, but that doesn't do very much for its consistency. You're not very good at this. You don't quite understand how an oven grown into the wooden wall of a tree isn't a fire hazard. The warmth blowing from it makes the room a little uncomfortable. On a tray inside it, you see a pile of golden sweet cakes. Well, let's cool down the room then.
Aren't these ever going to be done? What's wrong with this oven?
Fine. You worried about them never being done? Okay, we can fix that.
Oh my, they're almost burnt. How'd that happen? This oven was never hot enough to bake them that fast before.
See, I am useful. If you would just give me a chance. What about if we heat up the dough? Maybe it'll make it easier to knead. Ooh, actually smells good. Okay, well, oh well. So, elf child, hello there. The girl stares at you with wide eyes, but says nothing.
Do you know anything about this human wizard the cook is talking about?
Yeah, he's fun. In fact, my friends and I are meeting him tonight in the secret place.
Is that your doll? What's her name?
If you can call it that, her name is Ugly. It used to be Millie, but she had a hard life. She's not Millie anymore, just Ugly. Maybe I should call her No Fun, too.
Aww.
But don't you love your doll?
Would you love a doll like this? It's just a collection of rags, but I don't have anything else to play with.
What game are you playing?
I'm playing Hop Around. Since my doll only has one leg, she can't walk, so she hops. Since she doesn't have a head, she can't see where she's going, so she bumps into everything. It's not a very fun game. She's not a very fun doll.
Could you show me where your secret place is?
Why should I show you? You're not my friend. You're just another big person.
Obviously a talker, but,
Do
stare.
you always stare like that? It's creepy.
No, you're 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 creepy.
Okay, we're not gonna go back and forth like that again. Okay.
I've got to get back to work.
Me too.
Well, if she's having a problem with that doll, maybe we can give her one that walks. The child looks at the toy in her hand and smiles. She throws aside the broken doll. She jumps up, claps, and runs over to grab the better toy. She turns it around in her hands and laughs happily.
You're nice. I like you. You have to meet my friends. Come on, let's go.
Alright, so we're going outside.
I didn't think you'd ever get here. Come on, let's go. It's through here.
We left as soon as you did, basically. You come upon a group of children gathered at the ledge. They're calling to someone below. One smaller child is crying. When you glance over the ledge, you see a young elf trapped on the lower ledge, trying, without much success, to climb back up.
These are my friends. That doorknob down there is the prince. I guess he finally got up enough courage to go after the golden staff. He's been talking about it long enough. It doesn't look like he made it very far, though.
Hello, children! You can't attract the attention of any of the children. They're too busy playing their own games. The mob. The branch you stand on overlooks a kind of pit, ringed with similar trees. Not even sunlight makes it down to the bottom. You have no idea how deep it is, but if it extends all the way to the ground, you imagine that it could go on for miles. Well, let's find out how deep it goes! A range dart launches you into the bottomless pit. After a few minutes of weightlessness, you see the dark ground rushing towards you. Briefly, you wonder what runs through someone's mind when they hit bottom. A very sharp stick. So, that was, again, silly Haplo. Of course we're not silly Haplo. We're regular guy Haplo. Hello, Elf Prince.
Hello, sir. Could you help me off of this ledge, please? Don't tell anybody. My father would be so angry.
Who's your father?
I'm the royal prince. My father is the king. Don't think you can take me hostage, though. My father would find and kill you before he'd pay anything.
It looks like you've already trapped yourself.
You're correct. I think I might have overestimated my climbing skills. I'm lucky this ledge was here, otherwise I could have fallen the rest of the way.
What makes you think your father could kill me?
He commands the elven army, including the wizards. No human would stand a chance against him. Do you want to start a war?
Take you prisoner? It never entered my mind.
Whew. Thank you, sir. I'd appreciate any help you could give me.
How'd you get down there?
It's a long story. If you help me out, I'll tell you.
I already know how far the drop is.
I'll give it some thought. Don't go anywhere.
Very well. I guess I'll wait here.
I think we, oh. Tie it to this thing right here, okay, there we go. Lure one end of the clothesline to the struggling prince. He grabs hold of it gratefully and you haul him up.
Thank you, sir, for coming to my aid. I would have made it out eventually by myself, but your help sped things up quite a bit. I am at your service, sir. Anything I can do for you, I will.
So, why did you climb down there? Not the smartest thing in the world to do.
I know. It's a long story. I was searching for the staff. I figured that I wanted it more than anyone who had gone before me. It turns out that I had much more enthusiasm than ability.
Enthusiasm won't help you climb down a tree that is many miles high.
I found that out. My father forbade me to go after the staff. Too many of my ancestors entered the maw and never returned. I guess he knew what he was talking about.
Staff? What staff?
I guess everyone isn't familiar with the legend. I'll tell it to you. Ages and ages ago, the gods gave 3 items to the races. To the dwarves, they gave a golden hammer. To the humans, they gave a golden sword. They gave us a golden staff.
Wonder who those gods might be.
The items were supposed to symbolize the race's roles in a new, unified society. The dwarves were to be the workers, the builders. That's what the hammer represented. The humans were supposed to be the protectors, hence the sword. We elves were the scholars, the leaders, of course. I guess it didn't quite work out that way. After one of the ancient wars with the humans, my ancestor rebelled against the symbolism of the staff. He cursed the idea of living and working with the other races. So he took the staff and cast it into the maw, never to be seen again.
Well, we kind of need that to open the doors. That's a problem.
He did it in the heat of anger, and soon regretted it. The staff represented more than the ancient legends. It was also a symbol of leadership. Without it, he chanced losing his power. So my ancestor climbed down into the maw to reclaim the staff. He never returned. Since then, members of the royal family have sought the staff. Every few generations, an elf will climb down into the maw, but not one has ever made it back. We don't even know what's at the bottom. We only know that there is solid ground, and the only way in is straight down. We call it the maw because it swallows up anything that enters it.
How could anything be worth risking your life like that?
Naturally, I wanted to regain the staff for my people. My father would be so proud of me. They would write songs about me. I would have done what all of my ancestors failed to do. Don't you think that's enough?
You tell me, lad.
You're right. I never really cared about the acclaim. There is another reason. There's a girl, a human girl. I love her.
Oh.
Who is this girl?
She's beautiful. She's a hunter, she's a musician, she's a leader, she's everything I ever wanted. And not only is she human, but she's a princess as well. And she doesn't even know I exist. Now without the staff, I'll never get a chance.
A human? Won't your father be a bit angry with your choice?
I don't care. At least she's royalty. My father will learn to accept it. He has to.
How would possessing the staff help you to get this girl?
The humans believe that the items from the gods are symbols of rulership. Every human leader since the beginning has carried the golden sword. The current monarch, the princess's father, has been ill for some time. While he's incapacitated, she has accepted the responsibility of rulership. With it, she has taken the sword.
Alright. One out of the three we can get, I guess.
She takes her station very seriously, and she'll only consider a suitor of equal status. Because the humans equate rulership with the possession of the godly items, she won't even look in my direction if I don't have the staff.
Where did you meet her?
I met her at one of our gatherings. Lately, she's been coming to hear the wizard speak. I think she's interested in his message of racial harmony. In fact, she'll be coming to a meeting tonight. I was hoping to have the staff by then. Oh well.
That's all there is to it? You get the staff, and it gets you the girl?
Well, not quite. I have to earn her respect, and I'll never get it without the staff. After that, I'm not sure what to do. I think I have to soften her up somehow. Maybe I need something pretty to give her. Even if I do get in her good graces, I won't know what to say. I always get tongue-tied whenever I talk to her. I just don't know the right words. I think if I had something nice to give her and the right words to say, I'd have a chance.
Let me get this straight. You need the staff, the right words, and a pretty present? Sounds like you've been thinking about this for quite a while.
Forever. I decided that if I couldn't have her, I didn't want to go on living. That's why I tried to get the staff. If I didn't make it, I'd be out of my misery.
Enough about this girl.
All right.
Let's talk about something else.
Certainly.
What is this place?
This is the maw. Called that because anything that goes in gets swallowed up. It's a sheer drop, ringed by trees on all sides. The only way to the bottom is straight down. It's an evil place. I'll never go near it again.
You're at my service, eh?
Yes, sir. I'll do anything within reason. Answer any questions you may have. You look new to this land. I'll be glad to help you out.
Do you know anything about a big, ancient building? It has a door with 3 symbols on it.
An ancient building. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Perhaps the wizard can help you. He's been around forever.
Have you met this human wizard who supposedly talks to children?
Of course. His name is Zifnab. He's a human, but he's the strangest human I've ever met. Though admittedly, I haven't met all that many. He resembles you somewhat, but in place of your black hair with white tips, he has white hair with black tips. Do you know him?
Our first chance to meet a Sartan. Oh boy, that's gonna be great.
I'm not sure. Tell me more about him.
He stays out of sight most of the time and only shows up when we have scheduled a meeting. He also makes sure to keep out of the way of adults. They'll keep him away from us, he claims. Would you do that? Keep him away from us?
Well, now that I know he's a Sartan, yes. But I guess we need to get in on this meeting to meet him.
Of course not. He sounds harmless enough.
Whew, I'm so glad. I would really like you to meet him. He does the most spectacular tricks. Even when we don't understand half of what he says, he's always entertaining. If you'd like, I can lead you to the meeting place. There's a gathering tonight.
Wait a second. I have a few more questions for you.
Certainly.
You're the Prince of the Elves?
Yes, I am heir to the throne. My father is the ruler of all elves on Pyran. If he knew what I had done, I'd never see the light of outdoors again.
Very well. Let's be off. I'll accompany you to this gathering of yours.
Very good. The meeting should be fun, even though I didn't get the staff. Please follow me.
So, Zifnab. It sounds awfully close to Fizb. So basically, that's kind of Margaret Weiss's and Tracy Hicksman's kind of god character that goes between universes. Anyways, it's fun. I like it. As you stroll into the clearing, you notice the children scurrying around, preparing the area. Some gather wood for a fire pit in the center. The remainder relax around the pit on the ground or lying nearby.
He's just upset because his girlfriend is coming and he didn't get the golden staff to impress her.
Elftrot ignores you.
Don't worry, it's dead. Not a live bug in it. Lucky for us.
Aha!
You don't know the half of it. My cousin tried to light one up when live bugs were still using it. You should have seen him afterward. He almost died.
Well, it's better than carting around a bunch of wood. These hives burn better than anything I've ever seen, and they're much lighter. Besides, I've kept my eye on this one for the last week. It's as dead gets.
Old papery hive. It looks very flammable. Is it flammable enough to heat? Show off our little magical skills to the kids? You cast a spell on the hive. All the children watch, thinking perhaps you've discovered another way to light it on fire. The hive smolders a bit, but does not ignite. One of the children sticks his tongue at you. The heap of combustibles grows higher as the children pile on the twigs and dead branches. Well, buddy, old
Hello,
pal.
good sir.
Sorry about your thing.
I'm not sure. And she's not my girl.
Do you think your girl would give me her sword if I ask her nicely?
Give you her sword? Never. It's her most valuable possession. She'd die before she gave it to anyone.
Well then, do you think she'd do me a favor if I asked her?
I can't say, but I've never seen her be nice to anyone she didn't know well. If she liked me better, I'd be happy to ask her for you. Maybe someday.
What exactly do you need to court this princess?
First, I need the golden staff of rulership. She'll regard me as an equal if I hold it. But even if I gain her respect with the staff, there's no guarantee she'll like me very much unless I can give her something nice, something as pretty as she is. Then, once she's feeling kindly towards me, I'll need something to keep me from stumbling all over my words. I can never figure out anything to say.
Tell me about this staff.
I've already told you almost everything I know about it. Though I know that I'll never again go into the mall after it. Once was enough. And usually more than enough because you're not around to talk about it afterwards.
Tell me about this pretty thing.
I don't know. I need something nice. Something pretty. Something that girls like. There must be something like that around here somewhere.
Tell me about the right words.
I have trouble enough speaking to her without trying to sound romantic. I know that if I try, I'll end up stumbling all over myself. I need a script of some sort.
I'll tell you what. Why don't you try roses are red, violets are blue, you're real nice, and I'm stuck on you.
Even I could come up with something better than that.
Well, fine then. I'm trying my best.
How long does the gathering go on?
For quite a while. Zifnab sometimes leaves and returns a few times in an evening. We use his comings and goings as an excuse to socialize and play games. We only leave if we start to get really tired.
When is Zifnab going to show up?
Who knows? Zifnab is anything but predictable. He will be here sometime today, but when exactly is anybody's guess.
Oh, Fizban. Is he gonna do some wire hauls?
What is that thing in the fire?
That's the hive of some nasty stinging bugs we have around here. It's completely deserted. Otherwise, we'd be up to our necks in angry flying insects. They don't take well to their homes being lit on fire.
Thanks, Prince. I'll speak with you later.
Sure, I'm not going anywhere.
Alright. Well, he was mentioning something about needing some words, and we do have a book of poems.
Thank you very much. I still need the Golden Staff of Rulership. She'll only regard me as an equal if I hold it. But even if I gain her respect with the staff, there's no guarantee she'll like me very much unless I can give her something nice, something as pretty as she is. I'm lucky that you gave me this book of love poems. If I ever get that far, at least I'll know what to say.
Alright. I doubt this pink plant would do. Maybe though? What do you think?
I can't see how this would help me woo the princess. Thank you anyway, though.
Oh no, he said something sweet. Something sweet. Child strikes a piece of flint against the flat rock she holds. Sparks fall into the dried moss in the hive. Immediately, the hive floats into flame and the children. Sweet. Here you go. Something sweet, you said.
I can't see how this would help me woo the princess. Thank you anyway, though.
Okay, fine. I'm trying my best. Some of the children make themselves comfortable around the fire. They begin to chatter excitedly about something, where a hot ember leaps from the fire and lands nearby. A few children giggle at it, but leave it where it lies. Oh, an ember. It's pebble-sized, but red-hot. Let's, try to pull it down. Gas fell in the ember. It sizzles and darkens. Just then, fire pops out, and another ember flies out right on top of the previous one. The game's saying, no, you need it hot. Okay, fine. Oh, good thing we have something to hold. Scoop the hot ember up with the shell. We have a plan for this. I don't know what it is, but it's something. So this is one of those times where you have to wait. Hear some rustling from the bushes. Immediately, the children's chatter stops. All eyes turn towards the sound. A pretty young human woman steps lithely from the branches. She is dressed in hunting leathers, but carries herself regally. A golden sword is strapped to her waist, and a flute is strung around her neck. She utters no words when she sees everyone looking at her, and instead walks to the log and sits down. She attempts to act unperturbed, though it is obvious that she is uncomfortable with the attention. As soon as the woman arrived, the elven prince became entranced. His mouth dropped. When she sat down, he seemed torn between wanting to speak to her and wanting to run far, far away. Now he appears to have arrived at a compromise, sitting in place and staring at her while she pretends to ignore him. Hello, lady.
Even though you look to be human, I don't know you, and I don't speak to people I don't know.
Bye, lady. Well, then I am going to just wait. Again. The conversation dies suddenly. You look around to determine the cause and notice that everyone is staring at the disc on the ground. Alright, it started to glow and it's getting brighter every moment. That disc right here that I kind of neglected this.
Whoops!
Oh, Zifnab, sorry. A fountain of white fire bursts from the disc. It rises into the air, whipping and spitting about. With a flash, the font disappears, replaced by a somewhat confused-looking man dressed in a long white robe. As he smooths and brushes his garb, you dive behind a bush, out of sight. There's no mistaking it, this man is Sartan, and you don't want to scare him away too soon.
Welcome, my little friends. It's time for the Zifnab show. I hope you're all comfortable. I seem to be without my beautiful assistant. Always liked her outfits, although I couldn't figure out how she kept from catching cold. Well, we'll have to make do without her. I hope you've all been thinking over what we talked about last time. I know you're just dying to philosophize about racial harmony.
Magic, 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 magic.
Hold on there.
Magic, magic, magic.
Whoa! Yes, I know that the races living in conflict is very tragic. That's why we're going to talk about it.
No, we want to see some magic.
Oh, magic! You want to see magic? Let's see. Any of you have a $50 bill? No? How about 100? Put that coin away, son. This trick only works with the high denominations.
Hundreds and more.
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. Where'd the rabbit go to? I could have sworn I had a rabbit in my hat. Maybe it was bats in my belfry.
You stare open-mouthed at the outlandish figure. Without question, this Zifnab is a sergeant, but he is nothing like you envisioned. He seems harmless enough, perhaps even a little mad, but you know how powerful the sergeant were. Best just to observe. The purpose of this whole act could be to lure any potential enemies into underestimating him.
Well, let me try a real showstopper. What was that spell? It always gets everyone's attention. Feather fall? No, something else. Direfall. Fireball? Firehall? Wait, it'll come to me.
Wireball, direfall. I love these spells. Zifnab stands in place contemplating his spell. The silence lengthens, but the children don't. They turn to each other and talk, obviously used to these lapses. Time passes and, in your crouched position, your leg starts to cramp. Involuntarily, you shift your weight. The movement shakes the bush you use as cover and attracts the sergeant's attention.
Is that a new little friend I see back there? Come on up here. Every new friend gets to grab a handful of pennies from the jar. My, you're a tall bugger, aren't you? Wait a moment, you're not a child. In fact, you're not even from Pyran. You're a patron.
Uh-oh. The white-robed Zifnab wears grips around as he swings back. Before you do a thing, he traces a rune construct into the air. The spell floats into the white disc and appears to catch fire. Charge him, but before you reach the disc, he has disappeared to wherever the spell has taken him. I have learned a spell. I have learned... Transportation! This spell requires 2 artifacts called transportation discs. The spell itself does very little, it merely activates the magic already placed within the discs. These discs can instantly transport the caster from the location of the first disc to wherever its twin is located. Before we do that though, the white disc has been embedded in the ground. The surface is smooth and metallic and glows with magic. Can we take it? Oh well. Let's go save here. Alright, let's go and teleport to Good old... I had a yawning doggo. Anyways, let's go ahead and teleport. You read the spell in the air, it floats slightly over the disc. It strikes, and an explosion of light obscures everything. Eventually, the light fades, but what reappears isn't at all like what was there before. Your surroundings are completely altered. The only thing that remains is the disc, but its colors change to black. The base of a matchless branch, shielded by leaves, is home to a dragon. The branch extends over the chasm between the trees. Hello, dragon. You appear on a wide branch. The somewhat weather-beaten Sartan stands in front of you. Behind him, you notice a gigantic reptile, something you've heard stories alone about, but never seen. A dragon.
Hello, patron. Before you do anything rash, I must inform you that we are both under the watchful eye of my pet dragon.
He turns to present a monstrous reptilian form stretched out behind him. Zifnab looks concerned, then kicks the dragon's tail.
Wake up, you stupid dragon! I've got a bogey at 12 o'clock! Unfriendly fire! Traitor in our midst!
Slowly, the dragon opens its huge eye and regards you. The look it gives you says, I know he's a little excitable, but he's mine. Touch him and you'll answer to me. Then it closes his eyes and starts snoring.
Whenever I really need him, does he help out? No, he sleeps. It's enough to make someone go out and get a cat. Well, since you're already in my home, I might as well be hospitable. Coffee, tea, a push off of the branch?
Oh, we are going to go through every dialogue with him. Like I said, he is my favorite. Of course, I really loved him in the Dragonlance books, but anyways.
Who are you?
I'm Cortex, the thinking machine. No, wait a second, that's not it. I knew a moment ago. Ooh, that's right. I'm James Bond, Agent 007. I've got a license to kill, so you'd better keep your distance. Somewhere I have a lighter that can obliterate half a continent. Either that or take your picture.
What?
Something wrong with you? I told you! I'm Bond! James Bond! I don't think this boy's playing with a full deck.
No, you're not. You're Zifnab, the children told me.
Haha, that's just my cover! You a fool, huh? Can't blame you. I'm the best in the business.
Quit fooling around. I know you're Zifnab. Although what kind of name Zifnab is, I'm not sure.
Oh yeah? Well, what kind of name is Haplo?
He's wildly that one.
How'd you know my name is Haplo?
Your name is Haplo? Glad to meet you. I'm Zifnab.
This is kind of where I feel like this is your 18 intelligence, negative whiz kind of wizard, maybe. Oh, gosh. Anyways.
You didn't answer my question. How'd you know my name is Haplo?
Why, you just told me when you introduced yourself. You'd better start paying attention to the conversation if you're gonna learn anything.
Try to keep it together, Sartan. I need some information.
Well, let's see. I have a piece of microfilm lodged in my inner ear from my smuggling days, but I can't really talk about that. How about the weather? Pretty sunny, huh? Actually, talking about the weather isn't quite as interesting when it's always the same.
Yeah, Pyran is always sunny, that is true.
Why are you talking to the children about racial harmony?
The races have never been closer to tolerating each other, especially the children. If I can impress upon them the importance of peace, they may achieve unification.
You've referred to the unification. What exactly is it?
The unification, that's the racial harmony I've been talking about. When all the races come together and are capable of living with each other, the worlds are key to open their resources to the mensch, wake up the sleeping Sartan, and ready the realm for the interconnection. Each world set up its own test to determine when the unification occurred. When the Mensch figured out the way into the Citadel, when they worked together to enter it, they will have unified. This was supposed to happen in every realm. After all of them were ready, the Council was supposed to complete the sundering by interconnecting the realms. The new society would begin. But it's been so long. Far too long. Something went wrong.
What do you think went wrong with the plan?
We took on too much ourselves. We were gods, and we were infallible. I warned Sama that we should wait. There were alternatives, but he didn't listen. He was full of his dream.
Zifnab stares off in space, lost in a world of his own.
What is this dragon?
He's my pet dragon. I met him shortly after I came to Pyran. He took a liking to me, so I decided to adopt him. He told me that he embodies good in the wave. Doesn't make any sense to me. If he's supposed to be the personification of good, then he wouldn't be so lazy.
That dragon is the embodiment of good?
I know, hard to believe, isn't it? Especially since he didn't just eat you up as soon as you arrived.
But he's a colored dragon. Metal dragons are good. Everyone knows this. Come on.
Are you implying that I'm evil?
Of course not. Are you inferring that you are evil? That may be important. We might be on the verge of a breakthrough. A few more sessions and we'll be able to make some serious progress on your complex.
What's the wave?
You know, it's when a portion of the audience lifts their arms, followed by another portion, then another, until it completes a full circle around the stadium. No, wait, that's different. The wave is a little harder to explain. Reality is balanced. Good and evil can never be more powerful than each other. When that happens, the wave compensates. The dragon was created a long time ago in response to something else. Something very evil.
Do you know what the evil thing was?
Is, my good man, is. Since my dragon here is still around, you must assume that his evil counterpart is still around as well. I have my theories as to its form, but it's such a depressing subject that I prefer not to talk about it.
An evil dragon. What if it's a gold dragon? And we're just mixed up because, again, Sartans are the bad guys, remember. They were the ones who destroyed the world in the first place. We're trying to put it back together. Anyways.
Enough. Let's talk about something else.
All right. How about those Steelers? Think they'll go all the way?
Not this season.
Where are the other Sartan?
I don't know. Have you seen them? I figured they've been hiding from me all this time. Some joke. I turn my back for a couple years, take a little moonlight stroll, and they all go away. Well, it's not funny!
Where do you think they could be hiding?
Well, I left them in the Citadel when I went for a walk. I assumed that they'd be along, but they never came. I haven't seen them since.
I found a group of them on Arianis. They were in crystal coffins.
Of course they were. The unification has yet to take place on Arianis. When it does, the coffins will open and the Sartan will come out to help the Mensch.
No, you don't understand. I did something there and the coffins opened. All of the Sartan were dead.
They're dead? All dead? How did it happen? How could it happen? You did this, patron, didn't you? Somehow your race has struck back and killed us. Admit it!
Well, if he didn't have his dragon right next to him, we might go this route. But, yeah.
You're wrong, Zifnab. One of my missions is to find out where the Sartan disappeared to. If the Sartan are dying off, it's not of my doing.
Ah, of course. Your people were imprisoned when this happened. You couldn't have had anything to do with it. There's something else out there.
Why are you here?
I don't know why I'm here exactly. Even though our policy is non-interference when it comes to the unification, I felt I had to help it along. It's been so long and the Mensch have never been so close as they are now.
How long have you been here? Alone?
I'm not alone. I've got my dragon, I've got the children. I don't need more than that. But it seems like a long time since I've seen any of my people. a long time.
Let's talk about something else. You're obviously uncomfortable with this subject.
Suit yourself.
Where is Pyran's seal piece?
Ah, the seal piece. Your lord needs it, huh? You know, there are better uses for it than what he intends.
What do you know about my lord?
Oh, nothing. I'm sure he's a wonderful fella. Life of the party kind of guy. Am I right? I'll bet he could show me a card trick or two.
How do you know what my lord intends?
What do patron lords usually intend after they've escaped from thousands of years of imprisonment? You think maybe he wants to conquer the realms, reform the world to enslave the masses? No, nobody's that antisocial.
What uses?
Interested? Well, back in the old days, we had plans for those pieces. Big plans. Plans that make other plans look really small. Really huge plans. And important, woo-wee! You don't get any more important than those plans. That's how we made plans in the old days. Big and important.
Okay.
Well, what were your plans?
What plans?
Don't try and throw me off track. Where is it?
All right, don't get in a huff. Where did we put that piece? Didn't we build something to put it in? Oh, that's right. It's in the Citadel.
How do I get in?
That's a toughie. No one can get in. In fact, it was designed to keep everyone out. I certainly don't think any exceptions were made for angry patrons. Of course, after the unification, anyone could just walk right through the front door.
You mean I'll have to make all of the races get along before I can get that door open?
Well, it's not quite that difficult. We set up a test to detect when the races started to get along. We gave each a symbol. A golden sword to the humans, a golden staff to the elves, and a golden hammer to the dwarves. If a representative from each race places their symbol upon the door to the Citadel at the same time, it will open. The three races must do it together. One man with all the symbols wouldn't be able to open the door.
AKA, don't cheat like you did on Ariana's.
Where are all of those symbols?
They certainly didn't take quite the care of them that we hoped they would. Only the humans still revere their symbol, but they look on it as a symbol of leadership instead of its actual meaning, the humans' role in a new integrated society. Every human leader carries it. It gives them the authority to rule. I believe the current holder is the young princess who occasionally comes to my gatherings. The elves threw their staff into a local pit called the Maw. It's been lost for generations. I don't know how the unification can occur until it is recovered. The dwarves, straight-lined practical thinkers that they are, took one look at the hammer, decided that it was the most inferior hammer they'd ever seen, and stuck it deep in their weapons vault. I don't think they even remember that they have it.
Isn't there any other way to get in the Citadel?
Well, let's see. A spell might help you out. Maybe if you blew down a wall or something. There's one spell I remember. What was it? Tie a wall, lie a stall? I can't seem to recall. Oh well, sorry I couldn't help.
Didn't you come from there? How'd you get out?
Getting out is not the same thing as getting in. In fact, they're two entirely different things. Yin and yang, night and day, black hat and white hat.
With that, Zifnab removes his hat, squints at it, and pounds on it until it looks worse than ever. Satisfied, he places it on his head and smiles.
Tell me more about the Citadel itself.
All right,
that's a start. What's the Citadel?
That's a pretty open-ended question. The Citadel is a fortress, or it's a city, or it's a power station. Take your pick.
Where is the Citadel?
Oh, it's that way, I think. You should be able to see it from the air in your flying ship. It's really big. Had to be, you know.
How is the Citadel a fortress?
At present, that seems to be the only task that it accomplishes on a regular basis. All of its other functions were intended to come online following the unification. Right now, the Citadel lies dormant. The Titans roam the forest. Everything waits on the unification. That's why I'm trying so hard to convince the children to throw away their prejudices.
Titans? What are they?
The Titans are magical creatures created to operate the Citadel. We built them to last too. Big suckers, maybe 3 times your height, and powerful enough to rip up a small tree. Their appearance is a little unsettling. They don't have any eyes. Don't need them. We gave them enough magic to sense everything around them. In fact, they can sense things miles away when they're motivated enough. When we built this realm, we dumped them into the forest. Until the Citadel powered up, they had nothing to do. I think they went a little crazy. They knew they were supposed to serve the Sartan, and they knew that the Citadel was important, but that's about it. Titans aren't the smartest creatures. Somehow they found a Sartan relic. I think it was a crystal sculpture of some sort. Without purpose in their lives, they fixated on it. To them, I suppose it had religious significance, and to this day, they worship it. Against all of our expectations, the Mensch actually encountered the Titans. Dwarves moved into the area surrounding the Titans' forest. They understandably wandered in. The Titans reacted by defending their relic, and they drove the dwarves off, dragging their wounded behind them. But dwarves are stubborn creatures, and they continue to live just outside of the forest. As long as they stay outside, the Titans leave them alone. The 2 races live in uneasy peace. The Titans notice nothing besides their artifact, and the dwarves leave it alone. Those dwarves are understandably nervous, living so close to their enemy, so they keep a stock of weapons handy. I don't think they've actually pulled them out for years, but having them available makes them feel more secure.
Sounds familiar.
What exactly is the Titan's purpose? Why'd you make them?
The Citadel is a big place. It needed a lot of workers to keep it running smoothly. Instead of enslaving the Mensch or working the Citadel ourselves, we tailor-made a race to do it for us. We also designed them to protect the Citadel, and ironically, the Mensch as well. Somehow, they've perverted this defensive behavior to focus on the crystal artifact to the exclusion of everything else. Of course, their unnatural interest in this piece of Sartan refuse should disappear when the Citadel is open. The unification will trigger the imprinted behavior that will summon the Titans into the Citadel. They should start it operating and they'll forget about everything in their previous lives.
What's the Titan's magic sense like?
The Titans had to be given the power to sense the position of objects, even though the objects might be out of sight. This was principally for the operation and repair of the Citadel after it started working. Because they were equipped with this sense, we decided not to give them eyes. They see better than you or I, and they track better than any scout since they already know the location of something even when they're away from it.
How is the Citadel a city?
We intended the Citadel to house everyone, the humans, the elves, and the dwarves all together. Naturally, this couldn't happen until they learned to live peacefully among each other. So its halls wait, empty and dead, for the unification.
How is the Citadel a power station?
Pyran has a role in the whole. Following the interconnection, Pyran was to supply power to the other realms. Its 4 suns produce more than enough energy for itself and the other worlds. The Citadel was supposed to control the flow of energy from the suns through the Death Gate into the other worlds.
How about we talk about something else?
Suit yourself.
You know what? Let's go.
Where'd you get these transporter discs?
They're just something I picked up. Rather handy, don't you think? I had to plant the white one in the ground to keep the children from wandering off with it. I wouldn't want to appear in the middle of the campfire. If I didn't have them, I'd have to rely on my pet dragon to take me everywhere, and getting him out of bed could blow a whole day. As far as I know, there's no other way back to the nearest tree.
Give me one good reason why I shouldn't blow you away.
If you so much as look at me wrong, my dragon will find out what you're made of and decorate the tree with it.
As he smiles, leans against the non-existent branch, and falls on his face. That's a good way to end this.
I have had enough. Goodbye, Sartan.
Well, I can't say I'm sorry to see you go, Haplo. But take care. You have many trials ahead of you. The fate of the world rests on your shoulders.
Thanks, Fizb. Oh, with that, let's go to the Myers stall. What's the other one that he said? Dang it. Oh, anyways, we'll just say that. I know that's not right. Alright, hello. Unthreaten the dragon in turn regards you non-threateningly, though restful, half-lidded eyes. His entire demeanor suggests he has nothing to fear from the tiny patron visiting his home. His beautiful iridescent scales glisten with the dappled sunlight, and when he stretches, display rainbows everywhere. What's up? The dragon isn't very talkative. Zifnab communicates enough for both of them. Well, this is the perfect time to see how our magic fares against them. You cast a spell at the dragon, but it seems to shrug it off. Perhaps it's impervious to your magic. Yeah, that's basically the thing there. So, let's say swap it.
I wouldn't trade places with you for anything.
Oh, you reach out to the sergeant, casting the spell at the same time. Oh well. He knows what the swap spell is.
You're sure making things hot for me, aren't you, patron? I'd return the favor if I could only remember the right spell. What was it? Hire more? Acquire all? Oh, someday.
Someday. Alright, well, maybe you'll feel better with some cold.
Now here I am trying to give you a warm reception and you're trying to cool me off. I should be doing that to you, you hot-headed patron.
Alright, so I think we can actually take this.
You're welcome to take that disc. I can always get my dragon to ferry me back and forth, but unless I miss my guess, you don't have a pet dragon. Without the disc, you're going to have to find another way back to the other tree.
That's fine. I got Indiana Jones time. You wrap the clothesline around the branch and tie it into a knot. After pulling on it a few times, you're satisfied that it's secure. Oh! What happens when we try to just jump off? Oh, it creates another way. Okay, never mind. Fine, I was trying to do it fun. Alright, bye! A variety of wildflowers have taken advantage of the pocket of soil here. Rough-hewn stairs lead up into the tree. Let's take some of these blue flowers. They are beautiful. Maybe they'll help. And then these yellow ones. Those are the stinkweeds that the other person talked about. Let's smell them. They have a sharp, pungent smell, but not particularly strong. Okay. Then we shall crush them. You crush the yellow flowers in your hand. Somehow the action releases an incredibly powerful odor, stronger than anything you've ever encountered. For some reason, I feel inclined to put it into the nut. You stuff the nut full of the foul-smelling flowers. Alright, because reasons. You grab the clothesline and swing over the chasm to the clearing in the far tree. When you get there, you tuck the end into a crack. Excuse me. This is the other side of the meadow, basically. So, let's, Hey, buddy. Got some help for you.
Thank you very much. I still need the golden staff of rulership. She'll only regard me as an equal if I'm holding it. After I've gained her respect with it, I can woo her with these flowers and book of love poems that you gave to me. All I need is the staff, but that's probably the hardest thing to get.
Probably, given that it's bound a pit. What happens when we cast the teleportation on the disc and we have the other disc in our pocket? Let's just find out. Yeah, it doesn't... Oh, well. Oh, I'm just Yawning, stretching. Oh no! You shouldn't yawn by a ledge, I guess. Anyways, let's go back to our tree, or to our ship. And, let's head back down here, for no reason whatsoever. And it's a one-man ship. You don't need slaves rowing your wings or anything like that. It's so fancy. Hey, buddy, I have something for you. I'm sorry. With a crack, the nut breaks open. The yellow petals stuffed inside the nut fly everywhere. One whiff makes the animal's nose wrinkle up. Evidently, this isn't how its favorite food is supposed to smell. It hurls the nut back at you. When it lands, the meat of the nut falls out. It's really right at your feet. I will take it. I will smell it. It has a distinct but pleasant nutty aroma. You want to eat it? Take a small bite of the nut meat. It's very good. Filling as well. And we don't get in our marmalade. Marmalade is bad enough without the nut meat. Fair enough. Alright. Let's see. I feel like there's something else. I think that's it here. And I think it's just the tree city, unfortunately.
I've no time for you and your...
Okay, I guess we're done in there. Okay, let's see, I think I've explored all of this, so I think it is time to do what the prince can up to. Let's see what's at the bottom of that, their hole, shall we? Yeah, that is a monkey squirrel. If you didn't see it, earlier, basically it's a crossbreed between a monkey and a squirrel. Pretty laid back, has these sharp talons that break open the nut and stuff like that, but, unfortunately, to complete the next part of Adventure Game, we had to poison it. Well, not poison it so much as just kind of put some bad-smelling dust in it, so when it tried to get the meat that it usually likes, it was like, ew, disgusting, get it out of my face. Alright, so, let's see what happens. Oh! You stand on a root ledge, right on the edge of a massive web. In the center, a gigantic spider sits patiently. Okay, so it does look like there's the gold staff right there. Towards the center of the web, you spy the silhouette of the staff in bed, along with its dead owner, inside a pod. One golden end, protruding from the pod, reflects the little light in the pit. Alright, the trees, which appeared elegant topside, now have a shadowy, sinister look. They are too large and smooth to climb. Is this the evilness that the guy was talking about? The huge trees intertwine and form an impenetrable wall, which is unscalable as well. The corpse at your feet found that fell. It seems that someone else had made it to this root ledge, but finding himself here had nowhere to go and died. It appears he has been here long. You shove the remains of the ancient traveler to one side. Underneath, you discover a patch of toadstools and a glowing arrow. Sure. You take the glowing arrow, and underneath you see a patch of small toadstools. You have mentioned that twice, game. I must take them. You grab a bunch of the toadstools. Waxy yellow toadstools are flecked with tiny red spots. That must mean healthy! Nibble at one of the toadstools. It doesn't have any taste at all. He's not poison. Oh no, indeed. So we have another pod. Not the pod that's sitting over there. This one. The web bulges in places where the spider is imprisoned in its visitors. You make out some large animals and a few human or elven figures inside the translucent web pods. Inside one of the pods, you see a silhouette of a staff. Any chance of getting it? You gently place your foot on the web. The vibration travels to the center where the spider waits. It springs up and starts to lumber towards you until you remove your foot. Then it stops and settles down again in the center of the web. It doesn't look like you're going to get to the pod while the spider is there. At least the spider is, patient. Creatures as big as a house. Venom drips from wicked fangs and compound eyes span back and forth. It sits quietly, patiently, in the center of the massive web, surrounded by pods which contain previous visitors to its domain. The whole effect is rather unsettling. Well, obviously, we have our shear. I mean, I know we're kind of like 0 out of 3 for attacks with the shear, but maybe this time? You leap at the spider, the rusty shear held high. You land short of the monster, right on the strand of the sticky web. While you try to free yourself, the huge spider glides over and sinks 2 fangs into your back. Soon your body stiffens, and the spider wraps you up for a snack sometime later. Let's hope you're dead by now. Fine. So there's these things here. Those ugly, mean-looking insects swarm around on hives attached to the trees surrounding the mob. Earlier, the lady had that little kind of yellow flowery stuff that distracted them. Can we take the hive? Papery hives are attached to many of the trees surrounding this pit. Nasty flying insects crawl in and out. Well, we know they are attracted to sweet stuff. Let's try a couple of spells first. Cast a spell on the hive. It heats up and a few of the insects fly out, buzzing angrily. That may give you an idea. Anything cold-wise? That's a spell on the hive, but don't really want to get close enough to test whether that had any effect. Can we swap places with the insect? Cast a spell on the insect, but the insect isn't a higher level. Can we cast swap on the spider? That will help totally. Yeah. Oh, it's not a higher life form. Anyways, never mind. Heating up the spider. If the spider feels the effect of the spell, he doesn't show it. He's pretty good at keeping still when he senses prey about. Well, we need something hot to light that up. We got a shell with an ember in it. Let's do that. As soon as you touch the hot ember to the massive hive of the tree, it bursts into flame. You, in surprise, you jerk your hand back and drop the shell containing the ember into the web below. There erupts with nasty stinging bugs that made their hive their home. Well, ugly, mean-looking insects swarm around. All over your body. They seem pretty upset about the current state of their hive, and for some reason decide to take it out on you. Some alight on your body and sting you repeatedly. Pain is fierce, and you start to weaken. No. The cumulative effect of the insect stings is making you woozy. You don't know how much longer you can hold out. Oh no, even if you could climb the sure trees and you sting strikes you to the ground, so you feel nothing at all because you die from these stings. Okay, let's go back. Alright, so let's push this over. That was dumb Haplo. We always gotta see what dumb Haplo's doing. Silly dumb Haplo. This is what smart Haplo. Sweet stuff? Take it, spider. With a grunt of effort, you heave the jar of marmalade at the spider. It strikes dead center and smashes open. The marmalade splashes all over its disgusting body. You can smell this sickly sweet aroma from here. The insects are immediately attracted by the sweet smell of the marmalade splashed fire. As one, they swarm towards it. The center of the web becomes a flurry of activity. The stinging insects whirl around the spider as it thrashes in agony. Soon, the one-sided battle dies down. The spider slips onto the web in death. Vengeance, suckers! Alright, well, now we got a time limit because the guys are stinging us. Alright. Yeah, something I forgot. And good thing I did not. Yeah. So you need something to repulse them, because otherwise you're going to be trying to get to it and they're going to just keep stinging you too much. So, whoops. Need to do that. So that was Smart Haplo's talk with Dr. Strange, asking him, how many realities do you see this working? He's like, none, Haplo. None. You have to go back. Go back to where you came. Hey, kids! Bye, kids. More of those. Alright. Hi, kids! Bye, kids! Alright, let's throw that in it. Aww. Spider just, it's Oh. The whole effect while unsettling is somewhat mitigated by the gobs of marmalade covering the features. Anyways, let's, crush them. And then let's do this. Oh, oops. Let me undo that so you have the text. Alright. Some of the insects make tentative passes at you, but veer away when they get within range of the foul odor wafting from the yellow petals you hold. Alright, and that is that for this part. Let's go ahead and take the arrow, take these toadstools, cut this pod over here, scramble over the web until you get to the pod. There you whip out the garden shear and start to start away at this thick, sticky branch. After a few minutes, the golden staff, as well as its grisly ex-owner, are completely revealed. You grab the staff and make your way back to the relative safety of the ledge. The staff is perfect. None more perfect than this. Oh. Is there really bad? Well, I'm also not looking at chat as much as I should be. Sorry. Unless my talking and the actions on what's going on are delayed, I don't know how that's going. And I also blame Valorant. Everyone's playing Valorant, I think. Its golden surface is flawless, much like other certain artifacts. What about this arrow? The arrow, although surely decades old, looks as new as the day it was made. It glows with a magic aura. Alright. Well, no way, I guess we'll just have to leave this black disc here. I'm sure if Zifnab wanted to pick it up, he'd just have his dragon come down here later. Alright. Buddy old pal, here you go. You work for me now. You give the final item to the prince and offer a quick word of encouragement. He breathes deeply to bolster his courage and strides towards the princess, holding the staff out before him like a shield. The prince nervously sidles up to the princess, her eyes open wide when she sees the object he holds, and she excitedly asks about it. He stammers an explanation, and she nods throughout, but it is obvious that he is losing encouragement. He thrusts the bunch of blue flowers towards her. She gasps in astonishment, but smiles and accepts them. For the first time, you notice that she has a twinkle in her eye while looking at the prince. You sense that she is beginning to see the prince as something other than merely an elf or a prince, and more than a friend. So fast, these kids. She says nothing, however, and the silence begins to expand. The prince pulls out the book of poems and flips through it. He reads at random from a poem which speaks of a man's love for his favorite steed. When he realizes the poem's subject matter, he immediately stops and moves on to another. Instead of being insulted, the princess giggles softly, the prince's voice attempts to enchant her. Soon he's found a heart-rending poem that actually brings tears to the eyes of the princess. At the end of the reading, she throws her arms around the prince and kisses him. He drops the book and returns to kiss. After a few minutes, a smiling prince wanders back to you.
It worked! All of it! She has agreed to consider my courtship. and I owe it all to you, my friend, more than I can ever repay. But I will try. I know that you have a quest here, but I know not what it is. I will accompany and help you as I can, and perhaps I can give you some fraction of the happiness you have given me.
So, party member.
Yes, my friend? What can I do for you?
Do you think I can talk the princess into accompanying us?
I'm sure she would be glad to accompany us if you asked. I would have asked her myself, but I didn't want to presume too much.
Do you know anything about the dwarves?
I've never actually seen a dwarf, but my father has. As king, he's spoken with their representatives on a few occasions. They tend to keep to themselves most of the time. They remain carefully neutral in any conflicts we have with the humans, and they're incredibly stubborn. No amount of persuasion will make them take sides. All in all, we usually leave them alone and they do the same.
Do you know anything about the Citadel?
I'm afraid I've only heard that it exists, but...
Yeah, we already asked.
Huh. You're kind of scrawny for your age, aren't you?
I'm not scrawny. Elves are just naturally thinner than humans, and I'm still kind of young. When I'm full grown, I'll be taller than you.
Nothing right now, but stick with me.
Sure.
Alright. Princess?
Greetings. My prince explained that you are a friend of his and that you helped bring us together. For that, I am indebted to you.
The prince is a sweet guy, isn't he?
He's very sweet. A little naive, but all the more adorable because of it. I never really thought of elves that way, but he changed my mind.
What do you think your father is going to say about your union?
I don't think he's ever considered the idea, but he has a lot of respect for the elves. After a little grumbling, I think he'll be happy for me.
That's a nice flute you've got there.
Thank you. It was given to me by my warder. He's the one who trained me to hunt and track, but he also taught me to play this flute. He is one of the only people I know who still remembers how to play the old written music. There isn't much of it left, but he collected some of the ancient sheets and kept them safe. I was honored to learn the skill from him.
Two crazy kids in love indeed. She hasn't sounded ill at all. I don't know what you're presuming.
Tell me a little
Pablo.
about your people.
I thought you were human, but I guess you're not. Otherwise, my people would be your people. We're nomadic. We live all over Pyran following the game we hunt. It might appear to the other races that we're rather loosely organized, but that's not true. My father leads us wisely with the counsel of the people. We have thrived for generations.
So, time out on the game real quick, because I just have to show you this. So cute. We got another one. We're still barking earlier today. Over there. Let's see anything. I've been so crazy disturbed most of the day, but doggo babies are the sweetest. Anyways, back to the game.
Our lives are hard, though, and sometimes dangerous. The appeal of the elves' safe and stable society affects many of us. For some, it's too much to resist. They come to the elves as refugees and beg for whatever work is available. I think my people want to settle down. They follow my father out of loyalty, but they're ready to change the way they live. Even I wouldn't mind some stability.
Would you mind doing me a favor?
A favor? Certainly. What is it?
Can you play a quick tune on that flute?
Certainly. I'm sorry. This cough keeps me from playing for any length of time.
Are you ill? It sounds like you've got a cough.
No.
I do have a slight cough, but it's nothing. I caught a chill and a downpour a little while ago. I'll get over it eventually. Just now, it's not that bad.
Would you mind doing me a favor?
A favor? Certainly. What is it?
Could you take a look at this book? It has some written music in it. I'd like to know if you could play it.
This is incredible! It's music from the ancients! What an amazing find! Would you like me to play it?
Yes, start playing it now if you would.
Very well. Just tell me when to stop.
Oops. Okay, well actually,
Greetings, my friend.
Would you mind doing me
a favor?
I was wondering if you'd accompany me somewhere. I need you to use your golden sword for a task.
Of course I'll help you. I can't imagine what task would require my golden sword. It's not much of a weapon, it's a symbol of leadership. But I'll be happy to accompany you.
And so different from the picture.
Greetings,
of this,
my friend.
Thanks, Princess.
Sure.
So we have to do something about that cough, though. The book described last stream, the musical tune in it calms the Titans down. So you're able to kind of move about the Titans without them going crazy. But since she has that cough, we can't keep playing it, and when it stops playing, they're going to go crazy again. So
I have no time.
I think we have to talk with him, though. To
Yes, my friend? What can I do for you?
Nothing right now, but
sure.
I think we have to care for those. What about this?
I don't really have any use for that.
Okay, what about this nutmeg? Okay. I forget how you find out that we're gonna go on a ship. Here you go. You'll get to see the Citadel with your own eyes now.
Yes, my friend?
nothing right now, but stick with...
Sure.
I didn't know if he had anything to use to put in it yet. Whoops. I keep getting confused about this. Okay. So... Oh. Young dwarf girl is tied to a tree of vines here. She looks desperate. Well, this is a little different. Hello, dwarf girl.
You've got to get out of here! There are giants everywhere! They're hiding in the trees just waiting for someone to walk into their forest so they can grab them, throw them against a very uncomfortable tree, and tie them up with vines! Leave before it's too late!
Aww, such a kinder than your normal one. Alright, let's cut it. Oh, hello. You approach the struggling dwarf, but when you come within a few yards, you heard the surrounding trees shake. Giants appear, lumbering menacingly towards you. They look vaguely human, save for their lack of hair, the huge eyes, and eyeless faces. Something other than sight must direct them, for they avoid all obstacles in their single-minded pursuit of you. You retreat, rather in a rush, and the forms melt back into the trees. The dwarf slumps in despair. Well, I think she can clear the tune long
Would you
enough
mind doing me a favor?
for me to cut the vines at least.
Could you start playing the tune from that book I gave you?
Very well. Just tell me when to stop.
Great, let's try it now. You slip next to the struggling dwarf and pull out the garden shears. The princess's melody appears to keep the giants at bay while you saw through the dwarf's bindings. The vines fall away just as the princess coughs and stops playing the tune. The forest erupts with towering brutes, all racing towards you with murder in their eyeless faces. You grab the dwarf's hand and sprint off to the south. The crowded forest falls away, and when your party finally has reached the clearing, you notice that the giants have stopped following you. The dwarf girl gasps for breath. Her legs were obviously made for negotiating much shorter distances. After she recovers, she looks up at you. Naturally, you expect the small creature to overwhelm you with gratitude.
Why did you rescue me?
You know what? We're nice.
Because you were in trouble. Everyone should help out those in need.
Wow, you really helped me just because I needed help? That's so nice. I don't believe it. It's a custom among my people to give a favor in return for one, especially one as significant as saving a life. All you have to do is ask.
You don't have a seal piece, do you?
A seal piece? I don't even know what that is, much less have one. Maybe you could come up with something I could get for you?
Well, there's some.
That's fine, but could I talk with you a while before I ask for anything?
Of course. What do you want to talk about?
Can you tell me anything about that building to the south?
Sure. It's the great shining city. No one ever enters and no one ever leaves. The front doors are closed and nothing can open them. We've even tried tunneling in. We just bounced off the floor. It's made of something we've never encountered before.
How did you get captured?
I wandered into the forest of giants when I shouldn't have. I just wanted to see them. Everyone told me that they were actually bigger than humans. I didn't believe it until they jumped out of the trees and grabbed me. The giants don't bother anyone unless you go into their forest. They're pretty touchy about that. I'm just lucky they tied me up instead of stepping on me.
Tell me what you know about these giants.
Many generations ago, my ancestors dug their tunnels here. When they emerged from the ground to have a look around, they encountered the giants. They weren't friendly and definitely not especially happy to meet us. Mayhem broke out. The dwarves weren't used to war, but they were quick studies. They forged weapons and battled the giants for years. One day, the giants suddenly stopped fighting. They drew back into the forest and remained there. As long as we stayed out, they left us alone. We keep the store of weapons in a vault, though, ready just in case the giants change their minds and attack. We also have an interesting legend about the giants.
Tell me the legend of these giants.
According to legend, the giants are the children of the Shining City. They lived inside it and were very happy, but they always wondered what lay outside of the city's walls. One day they snuck out. The city discovered them missing. It was furious that its children had left it, so as punishment it took away their eyes and closed its doors, leaving them outside. The Shining City became dark in its sorrow. The giants moved into the forest nearby. They hoped that one day the city would reopen its doors and let them in. The only memory of their time inside was a gem that one of them had brought with them. They cherished that memory and guarded it jealously. One day, the city's heart grew lonely. It decided to forgive its errant children and invite them to return, so it began to shine again. If the giants had seen it, they would have rushed home. But the city had taken their eyes and they couldn't see the beckoning light. So they remain inside the forest, waiting for a call that came long ago. And this city waits for its children who will never return. We dwarves believe that if only we could lead the giants back to the city, they would go in and lead the forest to us. We know that they are guarding the gem at the center of the forest. A few brave dwarves have entered the forest in hopes of stealing the gem and bringing it to the Shining City. The giants would follow the gem, and when they came upon the city, it would open its doors to them and they would go back home.
What do you know about the gem?
Supposedly, it's huge and crystal and has strange writings on it. Actually, it's not supposed to be all that valuable. Crystal's not worth much. You'd figure that something they guarded so fiercely would be worth more.
Has anyone ever been able to take the gem?
A long time ago, a dwarf named Lungput the Swift ventured into the forest. Somehow he made it to the center, into a clearing, and there, lying on the ground, he discovered the gem. He grabbed it and bolted for the city. Well, the giants followed him all right, but they caught him before he got anywhere near the city. He tried hiding behind trees and rocks anywhere out of sight, but the giants homed in on him as if he were a beacon. They took back their gem and squished poor Lungput. Since then, no one's ever come back out of the forest once they went in.
How far did you make it inside? Did you actually see the gem?
No, I never got anywhere near it. I didn't even mean to go as far as I did. One step inside the forest was enough for these big bullies. They grabbed me and tied me up. Didn't even say a word.
Do they normally squash intruders?
That's what the elders say, and no one's ever said differently. I thought maybe they were exaggerating just to keep us out of the forest, but maybe not. At least they only tied me up.
Enough about these giants.
All right, what else do you want to know?
Do you know anything about a golden hammer?
A golden hammer? I'm not sure. Wait, I think there's a golden hammer in the weapons vault. A few years ago, there was a false alarm. We thought that the Titans were attacking, so the elders ordered that the vault be opened. Everyone took up weapons and headed towards the forest. At that point, we realized we had been tricked. Some child got his rear tanned, and everyone went to replace their weapons. I was one of the first in the vault, and I noticed a golden hammer shoved way in the back. No one had taken it. I looked at it to find out why. The weight was all wrong, and I determined that it was actually forged of gold. Can you believe it? A soft metal like gold? One strong blow and the thing would flatten. I don't understand why anyone ever made such a useless weapon.
Is there any other way into the vault?
Absolutely not. Dwarves are masters at tunneling. We made the vault impossible to tunnel into by lining it with fire-hardened metals. There's no way in unless it is opened.
Do you think you could get it for me? That could be my favor.
I don't think so. The only time the vault is open is in response to an attack by the giants. They never make exceptions. In fact, ever since the false alarm, they are more careful than ever to verify that the attack is genuine. They don't want dwarves harming themselves or others, either by accident or deliberately, by using these weapons. Some of them are very dangerous.
Maybe the hammer wasn't meant to be used as a weapon.
Why would someone forge a hammer unless it was meant to be used? That doesn't make any sense.
Could you go ask the elders if they'd make an exception? No one seems to want the hammer anyway.
I could ask, but I already know the answer. Nothing is going to open that vault except an attack from the giants, and I really hope that doesn't happen in my lifetime. I'll go, though. Wait here. I'll be back soon.
In mind. The dwarf girl grabs the branch sticking out of the bit of the tree trunk and pulls it in an intricate motion, which you take the time to memorize. In response, a hidden door pops open. She ducks inside and scuttles downward into it. And so we wait. Time passes. The stump swings open and out steps the dwarf girl, a little out of breath and readier for the trip.
It's just as I thought. The elders agree that I should fulfill my obligation, but they cannot open the vault unless we are at war. Have you thought of anything else you want?
Do the elders have any ideas?
No, they're still getting over the idea that I owe a favor to a human.
Could you take me to talk to them? Maybe I could convince the elders.
You don't know the elders. We tend to be a fairly stubborn people, and the elders are about as stubborn as they come. Besides, I don't think you would be able to fit inside the tunnel. Being little comes in handy sometimes.
I don't know about anything else. Perhaps we should talk a bit more.
Fine with me.
Where do you live?
Why, right here. Well, under here, anyhow. We dwarves prefer to live underground. We have a network of tunnels that run for miles in all directions.
Let me introduce you to my companions.
Small dwarf greets your companions. The prince bows graciously. The dwarf looks a little reserved, perhaps wondering if he's making fun of her height. She says a few words, and the prince appears a little taken aback by the dwarf's abrupt and direct comments. But they speak a little bit more, and soon are both clapping and enjoying each other's company. The dwarf girl soon turns to the princess, and after the initial pleasantries, the princess lapses into a coughing fit.
That's a nasty cough you've got there, princess. But I know a surefire remedy. It only requires 4 ingredients, and I've got one of them with me. Let's see. You'll need some dead man's friend, the meat from a zuzu nut, the roots of the plith plant, and the dried herbs that I carry.
What the heck is dead man's friend?
It's a fungus, a toadstool that tends to grow under carrion, dead bodies. That's why it's known as dead man's friend.
Ding, got that.
Can you tell me about the zuzu nut?
The nut is named after the zuzu, a shy animal that survives on a diet of just the meat of the nut. It's considered a delicacy, and it's very hard to come by. The nut's shell is incredibly thick. It's almost impossible to open. The zuzu has to be very strong just to crack them. I think you'll find a grove of the nuts off to the west. Good luck in getting at the meat.
Ding.
Where am I going to find a plith plant?
They're not rare. You should be able to find them anywhere. The plinth have pink flowers. If you see those, just pull up the whole plant. You should get the roots along with everything else.
And dang.
Can I have those herbs?
Sure. I've got them here somewhere.
What are you supposed to do with all of these things?
Just feed them to her. It all ends up in the same place. After she's eaten them all, she should have shaken off that nasty cough.
You think that this favor would make us even?
You think a simple cough remedy is worth my life? I owe you far more than that. You keep thinking about what you need. This is just being friendly.
Can we talk about some other things?
Sure.
Could we go back to the subject of the golden hammer again?
What do you need to...
This is getting us nowhere. The only thing I need is the golden hammer. Could you go try again to get it?
Nothing's going to change. But if it will make you happy, I'll go back in and rack my brains. I'll try everything, and I won't come back out until I've got it. Don't get your hopes up.
Very well. If you do somehow get the hammer, meet me at the Shining City. I need you to do something with it there.
Dwarf girl slips back into the hollow stump and closes the door behind her. Well, they look like bits of dead grass. When you finger them, they crumble in your hands. Well, princess, bottoms up. Bottoms up. Bottoms. Well, we'll see if the sweet stuff for last. Bottoms up and bottoms up. After she finishes her snack, she looks up in surprise. She breathes deeply, but her lungs are clear. Her cough has disappeared. And now we begin a run. Can we take the runs? Oh. Alright. Well, we're not going to do that. Princess?
Greetings, my friend.
Would you mind
Let's
doing
do
me a
that
favor?
song.
A favor?
Could you start playing the tune from that book?
Very well.
The further you move into it, the darker the forest becomes. You see more titans scattered throughout the trees. The forest is lousy with titans. There are almost as many giants as there are trees. What would happen if, let's just listen.
You can stop playing now.
We're done. Yeah, okay. You don't stop. Never stop. Titans have gathered around one tree here. High in its branches you see something made of crystal, clearly the focus of the Titan's attention. Let's see. One branch on the tree looks especially thin. You're certain that it could not support your weight. The crystal fragment is out of reach, nestled high in the branches of the dead tree. Can we toss it at it? I mean, shoot at it? Oh, well, that tree doesn't look like it's gonna support me, huh? You approach the dead tree, grab onto the lowest branch, and start to haul yourself up. The branch bends under your weight, and you realize that it could never support you. Release it and step back. Well?
Yes, my friend? What can I do for you?
Princess is busy. You need to get to it now.
Could you climb the tree and get that crystal?
All right, I'll be back in a moment.
The prince tiptoes around the unnaturally still giants, vaults up the tree, and grabs the crystal fragment. He climbs part of the way down, looks around nervously at the titans, and drops heavily to the ground. He runs up and delivers the crystal to you, sweating and puffing. When you look closely, you notice that the crystal object is a fragment, a piece of something larger. It's a roughly octagonal. It's that thing, 8 sides. That's the name we're in the world of stone carved into it. You guessed it, this is a fragment copy of the entire world seal carved from crystal. Well, this is what we need. Let's get back. Exiting the forest, you notice a deep rumbling behind you. You realize that the titans further in are probably out of the range of the flute's melody. They've fallen out of thrall, notice that their precious relic has been stolen, and started the rampage directly toward it, and not coincidentally, you.
They're coming and they'll be here before you know it. The flute's no good anymore. When they find us with the relic, they'll tear us apart.
The relic! That's what they're really after! We've got to get rid of it!
Okay, let's go to the ship.
We'll never
Does he
make
make
it back
this-
to the ship! The Titans will catch us easily! There has to be something else you can do!
No, I want to go to
never
the
make
ship. I want to go to
We'll
the
never
ship.
make it back to the ship! The Titans will catch us easily! There has to be
The
something
Titans
else you
come
can
crashing through
do!
the forest, no longer concerned about what they crush in their path. The mammoth hand wraps around you and squeezes. When the pressure has made a bloody pulp of your body, gentle fingers remove the crystal fragment. Of course, you're not much aware of the loss, or much else for that matter. After being a bloody pulp, you don't go back. And I don't think that leaves enough time to do the thing. I have to... Okay, that's... Apollo's initial run was not super successful. Princess?
Great.
Would you mind?
A favor?
Could you start playing?
Very well.
Yes, my friend?
Could you climb the tree?
Alright.
Alright. There we go.
They're coming and they'll be here
Well-
before you know.
They said the dwarves said they wouldn't do anything or open the vault unless they had a war on their hands, huh? Oh, whoops. Got a pull. Stopping the movement of the young dwarf, you pull the twisted branch taking out the stump. The door pops open. Inside you see a narrow tunnel that leads straight down. And bombs away. You toss the crystal fragment into the hollow stump. You hear it bump against the sides as it falls deep into the dwarven caves below. The Titans come crashing through the forest, no longer concerned about what they crush in their path. They totally ignore you and your companions and focus on the stump in the middle of the clearing. After a couple of attempts, they slowly realize that even the smallest of their number is never going to be able to fit inside the work. I would love to see that live at the the motion like but first. All of this back might stop someone even slightly smarter. The Titans aren't even slow. With bare hands, they begin to excavate their own tunnel. Dwarf curses and battle cries float up from the hole. Well, that's our job is done here. You stand outside the huge Spartan edifice. The wall surrounds it. Alright. And let's wait.
I was standing there in the tunnels arguing with an elder about opening up the vault when the crystal gem dropped from above right on the elder's head. Before I could even laugh, I heard the pounding of the giants trying to get inside the tunnel. The elder went crazy. He sounded the alarm and opened the vault right then and there.
What a coinky-dink.
I grabbed both the crystal gem and the golden hammer and took a back tunnel here. I guessed that I could get rid of my obligation to you and lead the giants back to their home. Here's the hammer you wanted. I'm glad to have been able to repay you. Now all we have to do is wait for the giants to come home. They'll arrive, the doors will open, and everyone will be happy. I hope.
As hard as she tries, she can't conceal her fear at the pounding footsteps that get closer with every passing moment. You direct the three youngsters to put their respective symbols into the recesses on the citadel door. None of them grasp your meaning entirely, but you're sure that all will be made clear shortly. Shortly. Go, 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 go! When the last symbol is slid in place, the doors swing inward, revealing a gleaming city, an ancient city of the Sartan. The Titans arrive, legs pumping, but when they come upon the gaping doors to the citadel, they lose all interest in the crystal fragment. Instead, they pile into the city and take positions in front of massive machines as if they knew what they were doing.
There's room enough for all of the races here. If we could live together, we could do it better than ever.
And it seems that the Titans do know. After a few minutes tinkering and button pressing past, the city comes to life. Lights flare and the entire citadel begins to hum pleasantly. The men wander in, their eyes wide with wonder. Thinking about your quest, you regain the crystal fragment from the distracted dwarf. Yoink! The men go on, but something else has attracted your attention. An archway, only a few dozen feet inside the citadel, is decorated by the fire seal piece. A flare just inside the citadel's gate catches your eye. You see Zifnab coughing and ineffectually brushing soup from his robes. He looks up, sees you as well, and smiles. Hello, Fizzman.
Haplo, my boy! I knew you could do it! They put their symbols into the face of a mysterious building without even knowing why. Quite an achievement if you ask me. That shows leadership qualities. You've inspired loyalty in these children. They trust you. Does your heart good to see them together, doesn't it? Too bad it's only for a little while, It's a good thing they don't know that you're just scouting for your lord. That soon he will destroy these children's lives for his dreams of conquest. That would just ruin their day. Better keep this between you and me if you know what I mean.
He knows what he's doing, okay? Czar knows what he's doing.
Don't worry, Haplo. I won't interfere in your mission. In fact, I have a present for you. I tried to take up a collection around the office, but no one there seems to like you very much. I wasn't going to say anything, but they all think you're on the side of evil. That doesn't make you very popular. Most of their ideas of a going-away present took the form of a punch in the mouth. I stuck up for you, though. He's not a mindless puppet, I said. He has very good reasons for wanting to destroy everything. I'm sure he's thought this whole thing through. They seemed a little doubtful, but I know my old buddy Haplo. You'll come through in the end.
I know last stream someone said, you're the bad guys, right? Or they said, are we the bad guys? No, we're good. We're the good guys.
Anyway, since no one chipped in, I got you this. It's a genuine 100% natural, roughly spherical, all-purpose evil combating device. Really? I know you're thinking, Zifnab, how can this obviously rare and well-crafted document holder also combat evil? Well, fear not. This particular paperweight is magic. That's right. As the stone approaches true evil, it will glow. Soon, you will encounter an evil greater than any you've ever known, even in the labyrinth. And it has magic. Horrible, powerful, destructive. Much different than the magic that we command. The rock will react to this magic. The closer you get, the brighter it will glow. When you are in its very presence, crush the rock. You'll know the right time.
What will happen when I crush it?
I don't know, but I'm sure that it will be impressive. And just in case it doesn't work, use the backup plan. Hurl that sucker. I find that a nice solid puck upside the head always slows evil down.
I love Zifnab so much.
Now you're thinking, how can he afford to give this away? Well, that's very astute of you, Haplo. I can't afford it. Of course, I'm taking a loss on this transaction, but when your friends start asking you, where'd you get that great evil combater? You tell them you got it from old Zifnab, and soon they're telling their friends, and they're telling their friends. Eventually, everyone has a Zifnab special. Take Pyran's seal piece, Haplo. Go back to your lord. But remember what you've seen here. Remember these people. Consider carefully exactly what you are doing and why.
Well, go ahead and take it. Zifnab stone is unremarkable in shape, somewhat rough, but without sharp edges. It's fairly ordinary in appearance, too. Some gift, run-of-the-mill rock. Let's try to crush it. Press on the stone with all your might, but fail to even that. Signs are gathered in a chamber so brightly lit that you have to squint to make them out. Perhaps this is why they were created without the ability to see. One last attack! Dumb Haplo. The interior of the citadel is even more impressive than the exterior. Spires and towers jut from lower structures, all which appear to be connected at some point. It's one huge building as big as the city, functional as well as beautiful. Well, with that, you wander around the forest for a while. Without the Titans, you find it completely empty and more than a little boring. See redundant. Oh, I feel bad about last time. Oh, I was going to toss it to him, though. Fine. Well, we have one more rune to transfer onto our steering stone. And let's head back home. And yeah, after we get back, talk to Zar, we'll end it there and kind of begin the next world like we started this stream. Be in the ship, ready to go to, I think it's, golly, what is it called? World of Stone. I forget what it is. Abarak, I think? Alright. Back. You hand over the fire seal piece and quickly recount your experiences on Pyran. Zar listens closely to your description of Zifnab and the Titans, obviously troubled by both encounters.
Excellent, my son. You exceed even my best expectations. Not only did you recover Pyran's seal piece, but you have discovered a living Sartan. I doubt that he is alone, as he claims, and the addition of these Titans to his forces means that he is someone to be reckoned with. I will have to adjust my plans to compensate. We might have to destroy the citadel to be sure of the giant's destruction. It is a shame you couldn't bring Zifnab back with you for further questioning.
He was a cool guy, though, honestly. If you met him, you would have liked him.
You have the crystal fragment of the world's seal. Use that to place the naming rune of Abarak upon your steering stone, and then leave as soon as you can. Events are occurring at a fast pace. If even one Sartan knows you exist, we must assume they all do. But we need information. I must know what the other realms are like, where the Sartan's forces are, and what they number. And I need those seal pieces. Good luck, my son.
Zifnab seemed mad, but he genuinely cared about the mensch there. He had a plan to make their lives better.
Who knows how far gone that Sartan was? Living in solitude with those mensch would have driven anyone insane. No wonder he was obsessed with them. Hopefully, when the world is reformed and we destroy the citadel, he'll disappear along with it.
Yeah, there was a dragon, by the way.
What about Zifnab's dragon? Do you consider him a threat?
If I believed in him, I would. Don't take this personally, my son, but dragons are fairy tales, legends, nothing more. This Zifnab played on your gullibility. I've read that the Sartan used to command the art of illusion. He must have created the dragon for your benefit, to keep you from killing him. It worked, didn't it?
If you destroy the citadel, won't that kill the mensch that have moved inside?
Are you questioning my tactics? Don't you understand that the threat represented by the Titans far outweighs the importance of the lives of a few mensch? Don't get personally involved with them, Haplo. This is war. There are always sacrifices.
Can we talk about some of the subjects you touched on earlier?
Of course. What do you want to know?
Let's go back to some other topic.
Of course.
That's enough for right now. I'd like to talk to you later if you don't mind.
Very well. I'll be here.
Things are starting to get a little bit fishy. A little bit less clear, mayhaps. But we do have a job, and we are loyal to our race. Everyone is still imprisoned in the labyrinth. There's only a couple dozen of us who have made it out, and there's thousands still inside. So, we have to get them out. Any means necessary. Even if it might be bad. So, that's my favorite of all the worlds. The next world is going to be very plot heavy. And it's going to answer a lot of questions that, you know, where did the Sartan go? What's going on in some of the other realms? And it introduces another pretty fun character. Well, another character, I'll just put it that way. But anyways, I super love the voice acting and Zifnab's bits. Just always bring a smile to my face. I'm probably gonna highlight those and clip them so that they'll always be on Twitch because eventually the videos will always go away. But just Zipnap's so amazing. You got to keep him around. You can't let him go. So I'll probably be doing that tomorrow or Friday. But anyways, if you enjoyed watching, I'm going to be back tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for our third out of the 4 worlds, Abarak. The one of stone that is basically all lava. So yeah, thank you all so much again for being here, watching, and joining along. I cannot say again how I just super love this story, and I play this every couple of years. So I'm remembering more and more stuff as I play through. Especially one part coming up soon. Heart tugging. Anyways, so yeah, we'll all get there together tomorrow at 7 o'clock. So you all take care. Have a good night. And see you next time. Bye-bye.